Hello there, it's Emma here. How you going? And I mean that honestly. How are you going? How are you feeling physically and emotionally and mentally? There's a lot going on right now, so it's okay not to be okay. But I hope that you are okay. My sore throat's finally gone away, so tomorrow, I'm actually going to go and teach a fitness class now. We normally do boxing, but for the next little while we're going to do circuit classes because of social distancing. It's hard to be 1.5 meters away from someone when you are boxing them. So we will practice some circuits and do a few different things for a little while, mix things up. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to jump in and just talk to you about probably what I think is the number one thing we need more of. If we want to have a kind of body love lifestyle, if we want to feel good about ourselves, but also if we want to, I was going to say thrive, that's not the right word. If we want to cope well during these times of uncertainty, and that's the number one thing we really need is self-compassion. We need to be okay with ourselves when we're not feeling good. We need to be okay with ourselves when we stuff up. We need to be okay with ourselves when we don't practice compassion towards others because we're so busy looking after ourselves. We need to be okay with not being okay. All of that is really, really important to build resilience, but also to build self-worth and self-esteem. And that obviously helps to build confidence and clarity and energy and all those things that we want in our lives on a daily basis as well. So self-compassion is so important. But we're not really taught to do that much when it comes to this kind of diet culture world we live in. It's kind of like no pain, no gain, and lots of punishment and push, and don't show anyone your feelings and don't let anyone know if you're not perfect all the time. And social media kind of makes us look perfect all the time. So it's not something that we're told to practice very often. But for me, it's the number one thing. Without self-compassion, life doesn't feel very good. So the number one way to cultivate self-compassion is to be amongst a community of people. So right now it's very hard to be around people physically a lot of the time, but of course, small groups are fine at the moment as long as people aren't from overseas or from having COVID-19. But even online, I think what's going to happen over the next few weeks or months is we're going to see a lot of online community building. And what we have in this group already is a beautiful group of almost 800 women, mostly women, I think. There might be a couple of men who do have like-minded thoughts, who do want to be self-compassionate, who do want to be caring and kind to other people. So this is a great place to be. The reason why community is so important for self-compassion is because when we see that other people aren't perfect, when we see that other people are struggling, when we see that other people are shining, even though they're normal people like you and me, it helps us know that we're not alone. It helps us see what's possible, and it helps us know that we're not the only person that stuffs up or makes mistakes or isn't perfect all the time. And that's what builds self-compassion. So in these times where we can't be around lots of people at one time, it's really important to create as much community as possible online. So thank you so much for being part of this group. And what would be even more amazing is if you got involved in the conversation and let people know when you're struggling, let people know when you're having a good time, let people know what you're doing to help yourself, let people know what you're doing when it's not feeling so good for yourself. Because the more that we see what other people are experiencing, the more we're going to feel okay about ourselves. And that's really what drives self-compassion. And then, as I said before, when we have self-compassion, we're able to be more confident, have more clarity. We're going to have less stress, right? And stress reduction is so important for immunity when it comes to what's going on right now in the world. So keep being involved in the group. Thank you for being here, and invite friends to come and join us. I've had a few people message me or comment lately that being in this group has been a really great way to help combat some of the stress that they're feeling at the moment. So if you've got friends that might get some benefits from that as well, invite them to join the group and just get involved. Tell us how you're feeling. Tell us what you're doing for yourself to make yourself feel better. Tell us what you've done when you're not feeling so great, and we will all support you. and that will help you develop your own levels of self-compassion. So I hope you are doing okay today. Let me know if you need anything, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye.